Hey, what's going on the clock, fans, man? How you guys doing? We got another great show for you. I'm so excited to have this going on. We have two special guests for you today. We have Rian Black out of Brevard County, 3-star wide receiver, phenomenal young man. We also have our guy, Ryan from Casual MMA, fanstreamsports.com is where you can find him. He's going to give us a preview and an in-depth look into UFC 251 Fight Island. We're super excited to have him on the show. We're also going to cover a couple things that we're going to talk about. Raheem Mostert, we're going to talk about how he's requesting for a trade. We're also going to talk about the Ravens not having a season ticket holders in the stand. And we're going to touch on a little bit about what's going on with the Buffalo Bills and not having their people sitting there, man. Lastly, but shortly, we're also going to talk about the Washington Redskins and how they're having a name change. Super exciting stuff, man. You don't want to miss it. You're on the clock. What's going on, George? What's going on, sir? How you been?
Good, man. I'm a little sore.
Sore? What's going on?
I'm a little sore, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. So I know you've been on vacation.
Yep.
And while you were out there having a good time, chilling with the wifey and the kids,
and pool chilling,
yeah, my wifey decided she wanted to start this 21-day beach body workout.
Ooh.
And we're on day 5 of it now, and I may need that walker that I kept teasing you about.
You see how life comes around, big guy? You see how that comes around to bite you? Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So the wifey got inspired after listening to Blue Fitness Talk. Shout out to Megan for coming on the show. She got inspired after listening to her talk and how passionate she was about her workouts. We started looking some stuff up. And, she was like, I'm doing this. I was like, all right, got to support the wifey. So I started to jump in and do it with her. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm sore. As you can imagine.
Right.
But that's been my couple of days. Yeah. How was vacation? I know you unplugged for a little bit. How was that?
Bro, it was great. I recharged the batteries, went ahead and we ran out of this house out in Orlando, and we just spent a couple of days out there at a pool and a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, and like I said, man, just need to recharge, man. So I'm good to go. I'm definitely a lot better than you are. I mean, the fans can't see you right now. I'm looking at you. It looks a little bit hard to laugh there, buddy. You the ribs okay?
Yeah, man. And shout out to Derek Clark over there at River City Smokehouse. Hooked us up with some ribs, and that was probably the last good meal I'm going to have for a long time. Okay, right. Had some ribs, had some potato salad. He hooked it up for sure. And it's probably the last good meal I'm going to have. I've been eating nothing but salads and chicken now, and working out and doing this beach body stuff, and I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
I bet, man. Did it come with like a nutrition plan too, or did you just have to come with workouts?
Yeah, no, it has a nutrition plan that we're kind of modifying and adjusting to our lifestyle and how we kind of operate with the kids and coaching and all this fun stuff. But no, man, I'm excited, man. I'm looking forward to the weekend. Right. I know the weekend for us in our household is actually pretty special. My son, his birthday's on 7/11. He's a 7/11 kid.
Yeah.
I always tell that story. My son's a 7/11. My daughter is an April Fool's baby. She's actually born on 4/1. Nice. So you imagine that text message going around. Oh, hey, we had a kid. Yeah, okay. It's April Fool's Day. No, really, we had a kid. Here's a picture. So my son being on 7/11, he's got free Slurpees for the rest of his life.
For the rest of his life, yeah.
COVID, no Slurpees 2020. So it's a little disappointing. But hopefully 2021.
He's got time to make up. Yeah, he's got time to make it up. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
So we're excited for that. This Saturday, I know for you, this Saturday, I know you're pumped about what's going on Saturday. So let's talk a little about that.
Listen, man, this Saturday, July 11th, is not only my guy's son's birthday, you know what I'm saying, George's son's birthday, but it's also Fight Island, man. It's UFC 251. I'm super excited about it. There's been a whole bunch of changes, and later on the show, we're going to bring on Ryan. He's going to talk to us about, what happened, what's been going on. But the biggest change of UFC is that Usman's going to be fighting Jorge Masvidal, which I'm a huge Jorge Masvidal fan. I've been a fan since he was working with Kimbo Slice, and I used to have the VHS tapes, and we used to watch him.
Man.
Yeah, so it's back in the day. He's been fighting for a long time. So I'm excited, man. That's what's going on, and it's just going to be freaking, another pumped-up weekend for UFC, man. They've been keeping us going through this whole COVID thing, man. So I'm excited to go watch it, man. That's what I'm doing Saturday. Don't call me. I don't want anybody. If you're listening, just leave me alone, especially between the hours of 10 and 1 in the morning, because I want to watch this fight, man. So I'm super excited, man. What I wanted to ask you, George, was I know in the news, ESPN came out with it, and it's been a topic not only last week but this whole week, is the Washington Redskins, man, no longer being called the Redskins. They're going to be pretty much done with that name and stuff. And I know we're going to pose a challenge to the listeners here. To a little bit, if you guys are listening, we want to have your your advice on what the team name should be. I know there's been a lot of fan art, a lot of things going on there. Washington Red Tails, Washington Warriors. I've seen a lot of those things. I think it's awesome. But what do you guys think the team name should be? And George, I'll let you touch on a couple of those thoughts, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is the power of money, because all these people, so you had FedEx, who's, the biggest sponsor, the Washington, we'll call them Washington. We're not even going to call them the Redskins anymore because that name is gone.
Right.
That Washington had, they basically said, hey, we're pulling sponsorship. You had Nike come out and do the same thing. And earlier today, Amazon came out and basically said, hey, we're pulling everything off all the stores, all the online platforms until it is official that the name has been changed. So first thing and foremost is kudos to these big corporations that are finally doing the right thing. I'm interested in seeing. So follow us on IG at On The Clock Radio. Hit us up on Twitter. Again, On The Clock Radio. Let us know what you think the name should be called. We're interested in finding out. So I know, Raul, you said you weren't taking any calls. Yeah. The people that are taking calls right now is going to be the 49ers. So Raheem Mostert came out earlier today and basically said, hey, listen, I get paid $1.3 million. I feel that I'm a top running back in the league. 49ers said, yeah, we're not going to pay that kind of money. So Raheem said, train me. So I want to get your take. Who do you think should go pick up the phone and call him?
Well, let's be honest here. The people that are going to call him, especially a guy that helped lead his team to the Super Bowl, who was leading I don't know if you know this, he was leading yards per carry in the NFL at one point, man. So this is not a guy that's a slouch by any means. But let's be honest, your super team is probably going to go give him a call. Your super bucks is what they're probably calling you guys now. They're probably going to give him a call. I would love for the Dolphins to give him a call, but he's not going to get really that type of money out of them. I think the Bucks are in my opinion, is the favorite just because of the fact of they have a ready-to-go team right now. The only aspect they're missing is a running back that can help them. You have a good one. You do have a good one. But again, what the 49ers showed a lot of teams was you need depth. They had 3 running backs that could come into the game and just freaking annihilate you and carry you. They were a load. But I think the Bucks would be the front runner. I mean, there's probably other teams that would love to have him. I'm pretty sure they're going to make him huge offers, and he's going to go where the money goes. But I'm pretty sure he wants to go back to the Super Bowl. And the only team that's going to be ready to go is the Bucks.
Yeah, so I got 2 teams that I think are going to probably make these phone calls to try to trade for him. I do agree the Bucks because he fits that Brady type of mold of having that check down guy. He's a veteran guy. He knows what he's doing. He's been in the league for a little bit. He's a great runner, great out of the backfield, and that seems to be what they're trying to build around Brady. I'm gonna give you a dark horse here. I think the Kansas City Chiefs.
Really?
I think the Chiefs trade for him because LaShawn McCoy is getting older. He's not in his prime. They lost Kareem Hunt during the allegation of everything that he had going on. They cut him and released him. They drafted a guy, but again, back to your point, there's always depth needed at that running back position. I think contenders are the ones that are going to be looking for his services. I think Kansas City is another team that may splash in there. You may see a third team kind of pop in there, but right now, everything that I've been reading, that's kind of the mix. We want to hear from you guys, the fans also. Who do you think Raheem ends up going to? Shout us out. Use the hashtag You're On The Clock and let us know what teams you think are gonna get him.
And let me get you in here before we go to the break, man. I want to give you something here too, man. What do you think about the Ravens pushing back the season ticket holders? You heard about that? They're pushing them back. They're going to push it to 2021. They're going to have 15,000 fans in the stands. I think the NFL is going to follow suit with a lot of other teams. Do you think we do have a season? Do you think it's still primed to go in September? Because again, if you're cutting down numbers, eventually it's going to be no season, right?
Yeah. So right now, the NFLPA and the owners are trying to agree on just a coronavirus plan. Right. Everybody's created their own little task force, and so did the NFL, so did the NFLPA. And right now, they're just talking about what the new normal is going to look like for the players coming back to training camp and getting their body rights to playing a game. They already cut two games off from the preseason to try to shrink that time to get the season started on time. I think that's going to be the norm. I think you're going to see stadiums at 25% capacity. Yeah. That's that 15,000 number for the Ravens. I know the Bills came out and said they're not having anybody. Right. I'm interested in getting, Ryan from MMA Casual, his kind of thoughts on it as well. But I think it's going to be the norm where I think season ticket gets pushed to 2021. I think we're going to see 15,000, 20,000 people in these stadiums. And I think we play the NFL this year.
Oh, that'd be great, man. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys stick around. On the Clock fans, we have a special guest, Rian Black. He's showing up, a 3-star receiver out of Rockledge High School in Brevard County. You don't want to miss it. Remember, you're on the clock. Hey, what's going on the Clock radio fans, man? Listen, I got something major for you guys, okay? If you're looking to start a podcast, you're looking to get intro of music, I need you to hit up my guy, okay, Jay Scudder. Jay Scudder is the one that helped us develop the intro to our show. He's the one that developed this production. I'm telling you right now, he got very creative with it. It's called Inch in the Yard Productions. George, let them know where they can find him at, man, just so the audience knows.
So you can send him an email at jscudder@gmail.com. You can find him on Facebook by searching Inch in a Yard Productions. You can also find him on IG, on Instagram, by simply searching Inch in a Yard Productions. Hit a like, go follow him, listen to his work. It's great stuff. You're not going to be disappointed.
On the clock. On the clock. On the clock. On the clock.
Decorate your block with red tape, phone them sliding every day. Bunch of hollows.
I have my man Rian Black. He is a Rockledge Raider, 3-star athlete, wide receiver. He's on the show, joining us, taking time, man. So I appreciate you coming over here, bro. What's going on with you, man?
Man, just sticking to the script, working.
That's all we can do right now. That's all we can do right now.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, man. Hey, have you been, so I know the pandemic hit everybody, and I've asked a lot of athletes this question, man. So is family okay? You good? Family, mom, dad, everybody?
Yeah, we check up on family a lot, especially with all this going on, making sure we all have stuff that we need in order to make it through this until everything clears back up.
That's good, man. And with the pandemic, have you been, so I know you got to do a lot of self-workouts. This has pretty much taught you kids going back to when we didn't have that much beautiful weights and, the cone drills. We just had, old-fashioned concrete bricks that we had to lift. Have you been lifting weights and working out, man? Finding ways to stay in shape?
Ever since the pandemic, yes. I've been working out every day, getting field work in, all that, working. Working.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And I got a short little thing to let the listeners know, and you, man. So I graduated from Palm Bay High School, right? I graduated 2001. Shout out to 2001. All right, we won the state championship. I got to play in the Gators Stadium. We beat Dwyer. So if there's any Dwyer fans, I'm sorry. Down in Miami, we ended up beating them 10-6. But man, Rockledge Raiders deep in the roots of my home. I know we played against Carlisles. Oh my God, they were like twin brothers they were just bred from hell, man. These guys were animals at Rockledge. You know what I'm saying? So I know, and that's a testament to you and your school, man. Has Brevard opened back up as far as high school? How's that working out over there?
High school, yes, we opened up. We started getting all the players back together. We've been working out every morning, the whole team getting together. And with the incoming freshmen, we begin some field work in, but we've been having to keep our distance. So it isn't really the same. Right. But, I mean, we're still around the boys. We get to hang out with them, and that's a good feeling, just being around your team.
Do you guys, what kind of rules does some of you guys have? Do you guys have to only 10 or 20 kids? Because here in Tampa, George will tell you, he works out in the morning with the Jefferson boys, and they got, questions they got to ask them, and then they got to stay their distance, and then one kid can't go to another group type deal. So what are some of the things they're doing over there?
It's actually very similar to that.
Okay.
I don't think we have a limit on how many people can be in there, but we do split it up equally.
Right.
So there's not as much people next to each other.
That makes sense.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And other than that, we just keep our distance. We can't touch the balls.
Right. Neither can we. We can't do anything. We're just cone. We're going to be cone gurus here in a couple. If anything, we're going to freaking have a track team because the linemen get a lot of freaking cardio in.
That's right.
There's but so many slide kick. Yeah, there's so many slide kick drills we can do with them. They can't even touch bags or nothing, man. So,
this is a perfect time for everyone to start working on their 40 times and stuff like that.
You're right. You're right. Get the form down.
You bring up a good point.
The shuttle drill, all that.
Yeah.
Start getting.
That's
you
good.
can't touch a ball.
Do you mind?
Combine ready.
You mind if I ask you? I don't want to ruin anything. What's your 40 time, bro? Because I've seen you on film, man. You're electrifying. I'm serious. You stand out amongst when you look at the film. You're like, who is that guy? That's a big dude.
As of right now, I run a high 4.5. I'm working on getting it back down.
Yeah, bro. Look how humble. That's a high 4.5.
It's a high 4.5. It's not as good as I want it to be, but I mean, it's gonna get there. Trust.
Trust me, I believe you. I've seen you on the field working. I've seen it, man. You're a monster, bro.
Yeah, last year I saw you guys went 8-2.
Yeah.
Made a little run in the playoffs. As you guys look at 2020, what are some of the goals? You guys have a team, and what's your outlook on the season? I know you coming back with a pretty. What are your thoughts? What are your goals?
Coming into the 2020 season, we got a lot of freshmen. Like, it doesn't make no sense how many freshmen we're gaining.
Right.
And like the freshmen we're getting are literally huge. Like, they're my size or bigger.
Oh, wow.
So like we're gonna start bringing them in, start getting them on the weights. They're gonna start getting used to things. We're gonna put them in places that we need filled.
Right.
But the team we're looking at right now is gonna be very solid. I feel like we can go all the way this year.
Oh, man. And what class you guys in?
Nice.
5A? Okay, 5A.
Yeah,
I know
5A.
you're 5A.
I'm 2022.
So class 5A.
He's got a little
5A? Wow. You got some tough teams in that division, though.
Yeah, we do got some tough teams.
Yeah.
It's gonna be we should be able to do it this year. I like our odds.
Good.
I'm an offensive guy. I was watching your film, and I see you guys are always in 5 wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little air raid type of load. You got 4 dudes on one side. They like to put you on the single side by yourself and let you just go work. What type of offense you guys run? Is it designed to kind of push the ball vertically? Talk to me about it.
Our offense is a spread offense. Basically, yeah, it's gonna air raid offense, but we can also hit them with a run and jet sweeps across. Our offense is very like distributed well, so to make it so everybody can get touches. And shout out to Coach Doherty. He is the best offensive coordinator I ever had coach me.
There you go.
Nice, man.
Right now.
Those should get you a couple. I mean, not many, but it'll get you a couple sprints cut off at the end of practice to give him a shot. Once you tag him on Twitter and stuff, and he'll be like, well, okay, you only have 6 to do today, so that's okay.
Yeah, he's a very good coach. Helps out a lot on the offense.
We had a coach here from Texas. He loves the air raid. He was telling us that a handoff or a run play for the air raid is basically a bubble screen. Is that true?
Basically. And the running backs we have, they're huge. Like, when they hit the holes, it's like nobody wants to tackle them. So why not give it down and go in the middle?
Yep. Power. Why not?
Yeah.
That's it.
And then we have a good quarterback. He's solid at throwing the ball. He's good at running. He's a very balanced quarterback. I like playing with him.
Yeah, I mean, again, me and George, we saw the Chamberlain and Rockledge game live. We were watching. Like I told you, man, you stood out in that crowd. You know, you tell people, people are shocked when I tell them that, this is Rian Black, because I was talking to other coaches about you coming on. I was like, yeah, he's 2022. They're like, 2022? I was like, yeah. 5A has to deal with this guy for a while because your height, the speed, the way you're playing. Seriously, it looks like you're ready to, you're college ready right now.
College ready?
Just finished his sophomore campaign.
Right, that was a sophomore campaign, right?
Yeah, I still got a lot of time, but there's still a lot I can work on before I'm going into college, so I can be at my best.
That's what I'm talking about.
So what are some of those things that you want to work on? What are some of those things you want to perfect this year?
I want to work more on my release. A release is the main part of being a wide receiver. If your release is good, your head fake, getting out into your route full speed and being able to break down on it at that same speed and maintaining it, you're going to be a solid wide receiver. I'm just working on stuff like that.
So here's something that you might want to. So you just hit gold. All right, and when I tell you this, you won't even have. You won't.
A receiver coach.
Right, I'm a wide receiver coach, bro. I'm a wide receiver coach at Jefferson High School. So when I tell you these things, you don't have to cash at me. This is totally free. All right, I'm a volunteer. You're absolutely right about releases. Just don't get tied up on. And this is what I tell receivers. There's probably. When you look at YouTube and you're looking at Twitter and you're looking at all these guys in the college and NFL, there's probably about 30 different releases you can do, okay? I tell the guys, always have your solid 5 releases. Solid 5 different releases that you're going to do. I'm talking about hands down that you can do without even thinking about it. All right, and then the other ones still work on, still have in your repertoire. That way you can pull it out at any time you want to. But make sure, now, are you the type of guy that has his hands down by his knee? Or you that guy that spins his hands in a circle, or you do the handcuff on the knee thing? Like, what are you doing? Because I've spoken to a lot of coaches, man. A lot of them don't like it.
I'm gonna tell the truth. Me personally, my hands are down.
Okay.
But I'm so quick to bring my hands up. It's like I'm just so used to getting into my form, breaking into my release. It's like they just can't keep up with me. Yeah,
see, I like so I'm a big fan of PJ Fleck. You know who PJ Fleck is?
I don't.
Nope. Okay. I'm going to cut that audio out. But anyway, I'm going to cut that audio out. But PJ Fleck up in Minnesota, He's a head coach at University of Minnesota. Had plenty of conversations with him. Me and George, we sat down. We talked about offense and things like that. He used to be a wide receiver, okay, for the 49ers, I believe. He also had he also coached for the Bucks when Vincent Jackson first got there. And he had to teach him how to do solid releases because Vincent Jackson didn't have very good releases off the line of scrimmage for being so tall. He had difficulty. So he came up with this thing called 80-20. All right, so whenever you get a chance, you look up 80-20 PJ Fleck. Matter of fact, don't even look it up. I'm going to send it to you.
Send it to him. We'll send it to him.
I got an entire video conference with him, man, and you're going to be surprised how what he talks about is that hand placement, the power coming from underneath, okay? Because when they want to come jam you, when you have your shoulders, your biceps, and your delts into trying to get out that jam, it just brings more power. Doing this off the line of scrimmage, where you see these guys doing the Antonio Brown, or they have their hand handcuffed, you know what I'm saying? When you want to get that left hand to get in there, the right hand's on top of it, or vice versa. So I think you work on releases, you're right. The one thing that every receiver I give, that first step has to be explosive. Whatever step you get, man. You know what I mean?
And that for sure he has, because I've watched that film and he is lights out the first step.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So when you go through these years, man, perfect your first step more. You know what I'm saying? Because that first step is I'm telling you, when I saw it on film, I'm like, Jesus, this kid's getting out of here. No wonder everybody's playing 6-7 yards off. You know what I mean?
No choice.
Yeah, they got choice. If I walked up on you, I'm not walking up on you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fake it. I'm gonna throw my hands up at you, make you try to jump outside. Yeah, but I'm not
out of there.
Exactly.
Most of the people playing me off are still getting beat too, though.
Oh, absolutely.
And, bro, trust me, no disrespect to your game. I'm watching you fly down the field. I'm like, Jesus, this kid. Yeah, just when you get into the game, if there's any advice I can give you, try to do 2 or 3 routes into one route. You know what I mean? I tell that to my receivers all the time. Even though we're doing a 15-yard out, sell this like we're going to do a post and a dig with your head, not your body. So the safety thinks it's coming over the top. The corner thinks it's coming, but then I drop into a 15-yard out type deal. So comboing the routes. You know what I mean? You probably already know all this stuff. I'm just kicking the bobo, but that's good, man. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What made you get into football?
That's a good question. So ever since I was 3, I've been playing football.
Yeah.
So growing up, I just loved the sport. And just getting better at it and keep going at it, I just love this sport. Ever since rookies, throwing on the pads, I used to think I was Cam Newton. I used to play quarterback.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I used to always do the read option, handoff run. I used to just football my whole life been fun for me.
Have you ever played any other sports or just football the only thing?
I played football, basketball, and track.
Oh, man. Wow. So you're good on the court too, huh? Right, I got to get the film.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't play basketball this season, but I'm going to play this upcoming season.
Sure, why not?
What position did you play?
What position? I could do it all, honestly. You could throw me on a 6'7" center because of my strength. I'll block everything. I'll go up and get a board. I'm just very versatile.
That's some of that Brevard County swag that I be trying to tell people.
Absolutely,
they just don't understand. You know, it's a different time, man. You know, I hate to sound like an old man, but you get some of these guys that be like, hey, what do you play? I'm a running back. No. Like, what do you get some of these Brevard guys, what do you play? Where do you need me? Because I want to play.
That's right.
You want me to play center? Sure, I'll go play center. Sure. I want to be on the field, coach. That's awesome.
Just like getting out there, having fun, personally.
Absolutely. That's what it should be.
That's all part of the game. Wherever you can go out and perform, just go out and do it. Because at Rockledge, I play wide receiver. Yeah, that's my spot. But I can drop back at safety. I can go to corner. I can play linebacker, D-line. Anywhere you want to put me out, I'll do it if the team needs me there.
See, and when you have something like that, man, that's contagious with other players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other players like, well, shoot, Ryan's over there playing defensive end. I'm going to go be long snapper. You know, whatever it takes.
Whatever the team needs.
Whatever the team needs, man. That's the mentality you want to have. So going into that, what type of football player? Don't tell us where you're committing because I don't want to know. I don't want to be responsible for that. But what type of player can colleges expect to have when you are committing? Like when they're looking into your film, they're looking at the player. What type are they going to be getting?
They're looking at a very competitive player. I love to compete. If there's a person like in front of me, I'm going to be at his head. I'm going to be competing for my spot. Because me personally, I don't like being second string. So you're going to have to duke it out in order to get this spot. Because I'm going to work for what I'm like reaching for. I'm reaching for the big goal, NFL.
Right.
So we're going to have to duke it out for that spot.
Listen, man. So George, does this sound familiar?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
Ryan. I'm trying to tell you, man. It's the culture down there over there in Brevard. I tell the same thing to these kids. If there's a D1 DB over there, you should be excited.
That's what I want.
You should
Yep,
be. You
that's
should
what
be
we're
the one
gonna
telling
work
me,
against.
Coach, I want him. I want
Put
him.
it on my film. I'm gonna put it on film.
That's what's up, man.
And that's what I also like when because down here there's a lot of people hyped up. I'm not gonna say no names or nothing, but there's a lot of people hyped up. So when they're on the opposing team, you want to go get a play on them.
Right.
Oh,
You want
absolutely.
them to be. You want them.
Absolutely.
If they're playing linebacker, coach, put me at tight end. Let me get a play on him. Throw me the ball. Trust me, I'm gonna go get that play.
That's what you want. That's what you want, man. I love it.
I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie to you, man. So I had the same situation happen to us. My tight end is 6'4", 225. He's going to UF, and so we're playing in a game, and there's this DB out there who's just talking smack, and he comes to the sideline. You know, we're in a water break on a timeout, and he goes, "Coach, put me a receiver, 1-on-1, get me the ball." I said, "It's like that." He goes, "It's like that."
It's like that.
Okay,
So-
all right. So we put him out
Sometimes you
there.
just gotta take a shot.
That's it.
Take
We put
the
him
shot.
out there. Nice little fade route. That's all it was. Nice little go route on the dome.
Yeah.
That's it. In the end
gotta
zone.
do it.
Handing the ball
Especially
to him.
when it makes it better when the player's hyped up to the max potential.
Right.
Because then all the clout's on him. You just made a huge play on someone that has all this fame and glory to his name right now.
Right. Right.
And now
Exactly.
you're just shooting him back down.
And you said
And
the
now you bring it
perfect
up.
quote there. I've been telling George this whole time: shoot your
Yeah.
shot.
Shoot
Take a shot. Take a shot. That's beautiful. That's what I'm talking about, man. So so the goals. I know we touchly briefed on it, but the goals going into this year for 2020. What is your personal goal? Like, do you have because every guy has it. I've had it when I was in high school and college. Everybody has their own personal statistic that they want to reach, a goal. I know you said the 40 times, something that you want to come down, even though you're probably running 4.51.
Pretty fast already.
Yeah, like like he said, it's so humble. I run. That's a high five, 4.5.
High five.
You know, being humble. You can be the truth, like 4.51, 4.4. But what's some other goals? You're trying to catch, over 1,000 yards or 20 touchdowns. Is there something that you're trying to reach?
That's my big goal, trying to reach over 1,000 yards. But not just on one side of the ball. I want to have goals for both sides of the ball.
Okay.
So on the defensive end, I'm trying to go for at least 2 to 3 interceptions in this season.
Nice.
And then on the offensive end, I want to try to reach 1,000 yards. It's big goals, but what's the point if you ain't gonna go big?
Yeah, man.
If you got goals, you might as well set them out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because it
So
gives you
you can
something to
do.
work for, man. Me and George almost had 1,000-yard receiver, man. We were about what, 23,
70.
20 or 70 yards?
away. Yeah, 930.
God, we were this close.
That would have been nice.
Oh yeah, to have that stat and remember it like that. Heck yeah. Does Rockledge have any records that you're trying to break? Because they had some at Palm Bay as well, and we had guys. Now they're way before you were born, but there was we have Reggie Nelson, we have Joe Cohen, Mike DeGore. We even had Xavier Carter, which if you don't know who Xavier Carter is. Xavier Carter, he beat Usain Bolt in the 200.
Oh wow.
If you don't believe me, go look it up. All right, that man beat Usain Bolt, and I can't remember the other American Olympian, but they were both on the same one. They were in Tokyo, and he beat him in the 200. He was running for Nike. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah,
But
you
those-
being Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
You something else. You something else.
Oh, you got to see it, man. He roasted him. You got to see
God.
it. But does Rockledge have any goals like that? Something you're trying to reach?
We got school records,
Right.
but it's like when I was a freshman, there's one goal I was focused on, beating my dad's record for the yards.
Right.
That's what's up, man.
But
Wait a minute,
as a
beat your
freshman,
dad, you said?
Yeah, beat my dad's record
Oh,
because he holds the most records for the most yards. But
Oh.
back then they did a T set, so I'll let him have it.
what was the most yard? Was it rushing or catching? What was it?
Oh, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you.
you gotta ask.
All I know is he had 980 some yards as a freshman, and I was just like, yeah, we had a lot of big star players back then.
Right, we did. There was a lot of them. So your dad, what's his first name? Joe Black. Man, let me
Yep.
find out that I played against him or something, man. This is gonna be hilarious. That's awesome, man. Hey, so real quick, Mr. Black, we have a section in our podcast that we like to do with all the kids. We like to call it This and That. It's a series of questions that we don't give you, we don't tell you. There's nothing hard. It's nothing crazy. But since
Let me see what I can do.
Ready.
yeah, since you're
He's ready.
competitive, man, we're gonna do it.
Go.
All right, so George is going to hit you with these first questions. It's called This and That. You give us your honest opinion, your reaction, and since you're competitive, this is going to be great.
This will be awesome. All right, so first one, and I'm going straight for the heart right away. You have one shot. You make it, you win $1 million. You miss it, you can never be on social media again.
Ooh.
Do you take the shot? Now you're a basketball player. Do you take the
Right.
shot? And for reference, it's a free throw shot.
Oh yeah, I'll take my shot for sure.
See, these are two. That's
That
too
is
easy.
the question.
See, we got to do 3-pointers next time. We got to.
He was like, free throw?
A free throw, that's a free shot. You should be making that regardless.
You should, but
I
I've seen
agree.
some guys. I've seen some guys tense up in the right moment.
I mean, when there's something behind it, they might tense up a little bit.
Right.
But I don't see no point in tensing up. If you make this, you're making $1 million. But also,
will.
if you lose it,
If you know
You're
your
losing your
basketball
social
history,
media.
though, if you know your
That's
basketball
it.
history, though, freaking Scottie Pippen missed 2 important free throws, and then
Yeah.
Jordan had to back him up, get the ball back, and shoot a clutch 3-pointer against Russell in Utah just to solidify the win. So just so you know, them free throws is rough, man. But okay, that's okay.
All right,
Yeah, they
next one
rough.
Here, are you a Android or an iPhone?
iPhone, no question.
Now,
George.
part 2 of the question. Hold on, let me ask him.
Yeah,
What about dad?
Ooh, I think he has both.
really. So
Yeah,
one must
I
be
like
for the
that.
job.
Mostly-
One has to be for the job. Then it has. One must be for the job, and one must be this personal, right?
Yeah, has to be.
The reason we ask you this is because every athlete we have interviewed, whether they're in college and all have iPhones, but their parents have a Samsung
Oh.
Android.
All of them.
All of them. You're like number
They're just not-
15 right now. It's ridiculous.
They're just not up to date on the style,
That's right. That's
should
right.
I say?
I think organized D1 athletes only use iPhone. That's what
it.
I think.
That's all they got.
And their parents are just trying to relive their childhood by using Androids.
They're trying to catch up slowly.
That's what it is.
Slowly.
Here, I got one for you, man. So I'm a breakfast kind of guy. All right. Frosted Flakes or Fruit Loops?
Fruit Loops.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact that we learned the other day.
Oh,
Did
man.
you know?
You're gonna break his heart.
I'm going to
You're
break your heart here, Ryan. Did you know Fruit Loops is only one flavor? They all taste the same.
Oh man.
Look at your face. That just screwed you up. That just screwed you up.
Wait,
This man's gonna get off the podcast. He's gonna go open a box and eat
Right
them
now.
one at a time.
Yeah,
And be
right
like,
now.
no, there's no way.
Right now.
Wait.
Yep. Yep.
so what's the point of the color diversity?
I have no idea to trick people. It's only
Because I thought,
one.
like, growing up, I thought one flavor was strawberry. The green was like,
Right. It blew your mind. When
this
you
is my first time realizing that.
when you go to your cereal and you try it, what I was told was try flavor, wash it down, try a different flavor. They said it all tastes the same. And it was confirmed on Google or whatever. It's crazy, right?
That's still hard for me to believe because when I go in the morning to eat my breakfast, I'm tasting all flavors.
It's the mind trick.
So what's the
It's the same one. It's all the same one.
Yeah, it's
what's
crazy.
the point of Fruity Pebbles, but it's only one fruit?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about Fruity Pebbles. I just know.
Oh wait, it's Fruit Loops.
Fruit
but
Loops.
still Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
I just blew your mind. You're welcome for that. You're welcome, buddy. You a curly fries or straight fries?
Curly.
Yeah.
Curly.
Every athlete.
Yeah.
Every
All
athlete.
athletes say curly.
Yeah, I don't know
Now
what that
why?
is.
I don't know, cause like when I go to like Checkers, their curly fries have like a crunch to it.
Right.
And I enjoy that crunch. So when I like, I don't know, I just love Checkers fries. And they-
Shout out to Checkers
Yeah,
fries.
shout out to Checkers.
Yeah,
We're trying to
shout
get
out to
that
Checkers.
check and likeness. Yeah.
Nah, for real though, they be tasting different. Like you go to McDonald's to get their fries, half of the time they're not even all the way done. They're like cold a little bit. You go to
Checkers always
Checkers,
right.
they made right. They made right there. They hot. They fresh. They crunchy. They
Yo,
just have
my
that-
guy's trying to
that
bring back
sweet
Checkers.
taste.
He's trying to bring back Checkers.
Sign them. Sign them. All right. So here's another one for you. PlayStation, Xbox.
I have a PlayStation. I'll never touch an Xbox.
Yeah, see, your parents are raising you right. Your parents are raising you correctly.
Parents.
Have you seen the PlayStation
Joe's
5?
doing a good job.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for it.
Oh my God, I gotta get. This is why I did podcasting. I had to get a second job just to get the PlayStation. That's awesome, man.
All right, the last one here for you. When you communicate to people, Instagram or Snapchat?
Snapchat.
Ooh. See, everybody's mixed on this one. Why you chose that?
I mean, on Instagram when you text, like it's weird. You got to go all the way to your DMs. Snapchat, you click on the ones, all you got to do is swipe left. Instagram, you got to click, boom, slide, DM, type. You got to search up the person.
Yeah.
You got to go all the way down, click, text the person. I know you got that little search bar, but Snapchat is just quicker.
No, I love it, man. I love it. I love it. That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you joining us with this and that, man. That's all the questions we got for you, man. I really appreciate it. You know, before we got on the show here, we were talking, and I want to give a huge shout out. All right, you told me your sister, she listens to the show. I want to talk to her, man. If she ever wants to come on here and she wants to talk about whatever, it can be about relationships. It can be about her hard time at work. I don't care. Whatever she wants to talk about, she can come on here. You told me her name is Rian Green, right?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Rian Green. Miss Rian, if Miss Green, if you want to come on the show, this is your invitation to come on the show. I know when you hear this, you're going to be in your car, so don't swerve. don't start screaming out the window. Relax. You are more than welcome to come on here. And Ryan, thank you for being a sport and coming on and letting us hang out with you for a little bit, man. And I meant what I said. Every athlete that comes on here, especially my Brevard County guys, if you ever want to come on 2, 3 in the morning, you want us to fire up and just talk, man, we are always here for you guys, okay?
Gotcha.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you so much. After the break, we got some more for you, so stay hooked. You're on the clock.
Hey guys, looking for some good barbecue? Check out River City Smokehouse, serving the best Texas-style barbecue in Tampa Bay. Established in 2019, their succulent meats are slow smoked with a combination of hickory, cherry, and pecan woods, mellowed to the peak of flavor. They also ensure their sides will rival your grandmother's Southern soul. Open select weekends. For the latest information on how you can enjoy their tasty Q, log on to their website at www.rivercitysmokehouse.com. You can also like their Facebook page at facebook.com/River City Smokehouse. Finally, for more personal service, you can pre-order by calling 1-855-787-2489. River City Smokehouse. It's flavor beyond relief.
All right, so next up on the show, we have our good friend here on Fame Stream Sports Podcasting Network. We have Ryan, the Casual MMA. Welcome to the show. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, good, gentlemen. Thank you guys for having me on.
Oh, man, absolutely. We had to have you on. UFC 251's coming. Who knows more about UFC 251 than you do, bro? It's going to be awesome, man.
You got me pumped, too. I hear my music in the background there. So.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you guys got me at a good time, too. I got some Gentleman Jack with me. I was smoking a cigar before this, so I'm all cooling down from the day.
Yeah.
Got me talking, thinking about UFC 251 this weekend. I'm pumped, man.
And so are we, man. So we were watching and we're talking about it. We were talking about how Usman's going to be fighting Burns, and we were going to record that. And I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. And then, you know, just last week, we're like, whoa, wait a minute. He tests positive for COVID. Like, what goes on now? And then when I see Jorge Masvidal wants to fight, I was like, this is the fight that we wanted to see originally. Like, why couldn't this happen before? Do you know why the fight couldn't happen before by any chance?
Money.
Of course, there it is. Yeah.
And that's all it was. Masvidal's been one of the guys that's been very forward about the pay that he's received. He was not happy with his first offer for the Usman fight. So ironically, that's why we had the Burns matchup, was because they couldn't get the deal made earlier in the year for Masvidal Usman. So that's why we had Gilbert Burns versus him. But I think the UFC was in a pickle after Burns pulls out, or has to pull out 6 days beforehand. Masvidal's like, well, guess what, baby? I've been training. Show me the money, and he's here. So they must have shelled out a pretty penny to get Masvidal on short notice like that.
Absolutely. Do you think it's a disadvantage for Masvidal or an advantage for Usman for being training for it happening like 6-7 days? Do you think it's an advantage? Like I've been sitting here going back and forth. I've listened to all the ESPN. I've listened to your show on fanstreamsports.com. I listened to how you guys were talking about, is it an advantage or not? And I'm like, man, I don't know. Like I know Jorge he's an animal, and I'm gonna be going for him. But that Usman, he's no slouch. That guy can fight. That guy's a wrestler.
So typically I would say, yes, it would be an advantage for Masvidal, assuming that he's in shape for a 5-round fight, right? Like that's what he says. He says, I've been training. I'm expecting somebody to pull out. I'm ready to go. To me, that would say he would have the advantage because now a guy goes through a full, fight camp the same way that a football player will prep. A quarterback will prep for a defense he's playing on Sunday, watching video, going against the offense, in practice over and over again, doing different coverages. So you're training a very particular way for a fighter that you're signed to fight. Masvidal fights a different way than Burns does, right? He has different weapons than Burns does. So now you think on 6 days notice, Usman doesn't have time to adjust for that. He doesn't have time to bring in guys that are just, that can imitate Masvidal's movement and striking ability. Assuming that he comes in healthy, yes, I would assume that this would be an advantage for him. But at the same time, like Usman's style is it kind of negates that in a way because he has such strong wrestling abilities and he's such a strong guy because when in doubt, he could just push you up against the cage like he did Tyron Woodley for 5 rounds and just pepper you with shots and, just bleed,
And that's my worry that he gets, I really haven't seen Masvidal on the ground, trying to find his way out of things. I've seen him knock people out, I forget what he says, 2 punches in a Coke or whatever the case is, two piece in a Coke.
2 piece, 2 piece in a Coke.
2 piece in a Coke. So I've seen that part, but I haven't really seen a lot of ground and pound from him, and that's what I'm worried about that Usman's going to do. Usman's going to want to get him on the ground and just try to work him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Masvidal has a good ground game. I think one of the things with his ability to get on the ground is he strikes from unique angles, which I think makes him entertaining as well. He's constantly moving and he can submit guys, but I think that's not even going to play a part here with Usman because strong wrestling for me, I always say can negate really good jiu-jitsu because it's kind of like it's antithesis in a way where, it's about being able to fight a bigger guy, but wrestling can really hold you down and hold you there and not let you move around and look for the sweeps and stuff that you do in jiu-jitsu. So when you have such a strong guy like Usman, especially because he's huge for this division.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, him and Colby are just, they look like middleweights.
Right, right.
That's gonna be a tough one for Masvidal. He's gonna have to get creative if he gets on his back. But Usman, I don't know, man. To me, he uses his wrestling to push you against the cage and just hit you and like put his weight on you and tire you down and make you exhausted and make you not want to come out for that 4th and 5th round. That's what he's really good at. So that's what's most likely going to happen, and it's going to be up to George to move and get off the fence and keep that distance, because if Usman puts him up there, it's gonna be a tough fight for him.
And that's what I'm thinking, because I watched Usman. I'm like, Jesus, this is gonna be it's equivalent to football. We call it stall ball. We try to keep the football away from the other team. So I'm thinking, man, he's gonna try and keep away the weapon that Jorge has is that striking ability. And I'm like, man, this is gonna be one of those fights that I'm gonna really I'm going for Jorge Masvidal, right? I'm from Miami, Florida, born and raised. I cannot go against anything Miami. I know Usman's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Yep, and there you go, my guy, the Hurricanes. Yes, my guy. I love the Miami Hurricanes. This is my guys forever. Yeah, man. So I can't go against Masvidal, man. I really want him to win. And again, I think when he wins and he beats up Usman, I think he does get him. I think Masvidal has to come out in the first 3 rounds and quick as shit and try to knock him out. I think he's got to, because he can't go to 4th, 5 rounds of trying to wrestle with this guy. He'll get exhausted. I think Usman's got to be careful when he comes in there charging, because Masvidal's going to give you that 2-piece and a Coke, and it's going to be it's entertaining to watch, man. Yeah. On the other note, the other guys on the card that were going to be on there for Fight Island, I'm sitting there wondering. Well, I think it's pretty much evenly matched. I don't think it's like nothing super exciting. I like Holloway. I think Holloway's a good fighter. I want to see him fight. But I haven't really saw anything else that jumped out at me other than this one fight that I'm going to be sitting in front of my TV ignoring my family for, because I got to see this fight, man. This is going to be awesome, man. Do you have anything else that you're looking at the undercard wise? Yeah,
we can kind of get into some of those other matchups, because I'm going to convince you why they're going to be exciting, and it's worth paying all the money. So I can tell you why those are going to be exciting.
And this is why we have you. This is why we had you on here. I need this info.
Yeah, but Jorge's going to have to keep the distance. He's great at range, man. He's a sniper rifle with those hands. We saw that against Nate Diaz. You know what I mean? Nate Diaz tired people out with volume striking. He couldn't get that off against Masvidal, man. It just goes to show like how good his precision striking is and his ability to do so. But I think an interesting thing that Ben Askren, actually, the last guy, he just like completely KO'd. I think that was about a year ago now. Actually, I saw all the videos popping up for that. Something he brought up is he thinks think one of the contingencies with them signing this fight was that him coming out on a short notice, that if he loses, he has it in his contract that they'll do like an immediate rematch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just in case he comes in and he loses, he can say the excuse, well, I didn't have a full training camp, so let's do this again, before the end of the year or whatever.
Which would
So
make sense. It would make sense to have that in the contract just in case, because then you can get the payday fight, right? Or hopefully,
for sure.
Yeah, because UFC doesn't pay out much, but you could probably get it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know what? I don't see why Masvidal wouldn't take that offer. Like, why not have that signed up so you can have 2 title fights within a year?
Oh yeah.
Against the same guy, but at least you can have the full fight camp the second time around. Absolutely, man. Because Masvidal's not afraid to go in there. Like, if he takes an L, I mean, he doesn't want to. Obviously, nobody wants to take a loss, but
right.
He's had 50 career fights in MMA, not even including his street fights. That
with Kimbo Slice
days.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, paying for his McDonald's. So. So that's just he's something else. And you know what? I was kind of saying this on the JP show earlier this week, is I think it would be important for him to win. Usman's a good guy. Like, if you listen to his interviews and stuff, he's a great guy, very humble guy. But Jorge's entertaining as shit, man.
Yeah,
and he's one of those guys that can be transcendent as far as like getting fans from outside of the typical UFC fans because of the way he talks. His 2-piece and a Coke. You know what I mean? Like, those kind of lines. You can't make that stuff.
He's entertaining, man. He is.
That. Yeah, it's uncanny the way he trash talks, and he just has fun, man, and he backs it up. So the UFC is in desperate need for that right now. Conor McGregor is semi-retired. John Jones says he's semi-retired. Amanda Nunes might not be fighting anymore. So I mean, you need a superstar. So I think it's kind of important for Jorge to win this fight against Usman too, just for the UFC at large.
Oh, absolutely. And shout out to the UFC on how they've been handling this entire COVID situation. I know it's me and George were talking about this on last week's podcast. It's hard for football NFL teams to test the way that UFC's been testing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so many people on a sideline. You got not only do you have the 53 members of the football team, but you got the guys that got to take care of the headsets, the guys up in the booth. You got the guys that got to take care of the trainers, the doctors, all these guys. And you got the media people working the camera. So it's going to be hard. But I really love how the UFC tests you every other day practically before you get on the plane, when you get off the plane, when you get into your hotel room, when you come downstairs, eat lunch. They're just testing it to make sure and try to keep as safely as possible. And the other aspect I was telling George was, when you look at the octagon, it used to be we just keep fighting the octagon. Blood's everywhere in the octagon. Now you don't see the guy comes out, he's spraying the shit out of the octagon. They're sweeping out the blood from the last guy. So shout out to UFC
there with Febreze last time, just
trying to spray stuff, man. But honestly, shout out to them trying to be proactive and trying to take it. I think they've done, out of all the sports we talked about on the roundtable, they've done the best, man. They really have taken these steps to try to negate their fighters from catching COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think to your point too, like they've done a great job. They've taken advantage of it. I don't think the other sports have the same opportunity they do, but they're taking advantage of the opportunity that they do have with the way every fighter is going to get tested at least 5 times before they get home to their families. 5 times that they're going to tickle your brain and take that COVID test. So, I mean, they're taking every precaution. They do the quarantining for 24 hours after the testing, all that stuff. So they have stepped it up. I mean, they've given us an event just about every weekend since early. That first week we had 3 events in 7 days,
and they've been all exciting to me. And that's what I've been telling George, because George, I love watching UFC. I've been watching it for years, and I tell George, hey man, you gotta tune in. Let's sit down. You gotta watch this, man. It's going to be entertaining as hell. And thank God they've kind of scratched that itch as far as football is gone and all the other sports. We're coaches, and we can't even coach in Tampa because of all the phases and stuff. So UFC's been doing great, man. I think it's going to be an awesome weekend, man. I have one more question for you. It has nothing to do with UFC, and then I'll let you go because I know you're a busy man. What do you think about the Patrick Mahomes deal? I've been asking everybody because when people say, oh, it's $503 million, me and George are like, no. It's $500 million. Like, you don't understand. Like, this is $500 million. What are your thoughts on something like that? Do you think it's too much money that he got paid or no?
I do, just because you got to have pieces around you, man. It's a game. Yes, you got to have other pieces around you, and you can't afford that. Granted, we can get into a whole discussion about how I think the NFL needs to restructure their salary cap. I think they should do salary cap by position, not by like the whole team roster, just because then you can have, at least a good piece at every level. But that's just, it's only and I say this because I don't want the owners to get paid more money. So, you know, if money's going back to the players, they're spending it, it's going back into the economy, you know, whatever. They're the ones selling the games. They're the ones selling the seats as far as I'm concerned. But it's a lot of money, man.
It is, man. $500 million, bro. Like $500 million. And again, he's a good quarterback, but $500 million. When I saw that price for 10 years, I was like, so you're telling me he's going to be okay for 10 years? Like, even if he does, and God, I don't want him taking an injury, but if he does it, because the sport is brutal, 5 years down the road, man, what team picks him up? You got to pick up that contract. Like, that's a lot of money to give to a 24-year-old kid. He's $500 million rich. That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy.
Wow. And the man, what was the other thing I just was gonna ask too about that? Whatever, it slipped my mind. But that's a lot of money. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give you a different take on it. I think the Chiefs are doing the right thing by locking him in now, because let's say he wins 2 or 3 more bowls, the salary cap continues to go up, his worth only goes up more. So this keeps him from being able to cash in a second time potentially, because you do the traditional 4-year contract, he goes out and kills it, starts selling out more records. Is he worth $70 million in 4 or 5 years per year because the salary cap has gone up, all the money's gone up, and his worth is now higher? So I think the Chiefs did a smart thing locking him in now. His money's guaranteed each year as a roster bonus. So for the Chiefs, if he does decline, they can cut him.
But you know what?
Because the only money that's guaranteed is that year. So as the Chiefs, I think it's a win-win. For Mahomes, it forces him to prove it every single year.
Yeah, but bro, 10 years. Think about this. A 10-year, he's not a coach. 10-year contract, $500 million. You're telling me that we're going to get the greatest O-line to make sure Patrick, did you see the Super Bowl, how many hits he took? He's not going to be able to do that in 6 years, 4 years. The body won't handle that. So I don't think I think you're paying him too much. Like, he's a good quarterback. I'm not taking away, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but you got to think the salary cap is going to continue to go up each year. So you're still going to be able to build a team around him because of that salary cap going up each year. I think the salary cap will be 25-30% more in 3 or 4 years than what it is today, and it'll continue to transcend that way. And again, if they do what Ryan suggested and salary cap per position, which actually I think it's a really, really good idea.
That's a really great idea. It took somebody from outside of football to think about that, by the way. Guys that are in football, I was like, I don't even know why I didn't think of that. But yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Two things on that, because I grew up watching baseball and football for the most part. And it's so hard to tell where a guy's motivation is, because I feel like guys that have contracts with an end date right in front of them, they play harder. When you got a guy that is like, well, I gotta play for that next paycheck. You see better performance out of them typically. Although I will say you also see better performance out of guys that stay with the teams that brought them up. That's in baseball too. That's in baseball and football. You typically see guys that do good at their home, where they were brought up into the league. So I think the thing is we're gonna have to ask is, what does Patrick Mahomes' motivation look like? If you just are talking from an individual perspective, like, is he gonna be motivated to continue to perform? Like, how much of that is guaranteed? It's got to be a huge chunk of that. Right.
I agree. And just so you know, this is also a conspiracy theory I've had in the NFL that I've been telling George for years. When you can kick out $500 million, okay, where was this money 3 years ago? Where was this money when Tony Gonzalez was looking around trying to freaking get something going on? And then also, he's a Bucs fan, so now he's got every great football player on his freaking stacked team. I'm looking at my Dolphins like, when are you going to kick out the money? Like, we've been suffering since Marino left in 99. Like, what happened? I know you got the money to kick out. I think these owners and these guys, they just have 25 different bank accounts, and they're not going to tell anybody. And they can do this at a whim. They can do this whenever they want to. When you have $500 million just laying around, man, I think they can do it.
Here's what I'm going to have you think about. So think about this. 10 years ago, had the Patriots signed Tom Brady to a 10-year contract, which back then, 10 years ago, quarterbacks were making $16, $17 million a year for 10 years. It would have been worth it.
But remember, he had the ACL. He tore his ACL within those 10 years. So you don't even, I think because he had a crappy contract.
ACL?
I don't know.
6 Super Bowls and an ACL injury. I'll take it.
Has Belichick not proven, though, that he could do that with any quarterback, though, too? Like,
we're about to find out.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the question is, can he do that? Yeah. Like, I'm a Dolphins fan too, so obviously I hate the Patriots, but you got to respect them for Belichick finds a way to win with it. He makes every quarterback look good, go get a big paycheck, and then they don't do squat afterward. Guys, I got to ask you about college football real quick. Are we going to have a season this year or not?
Bro, I have no idea. We just saw that the Ivy League went ahead and canceled their season. So that means Harvard, Columbia, all those schools, they're done.
Princeton, all the guys are out.
They're out till 2021. We don't even know, and that's a whole conference. Me and George were talking about it. We're like, bro, whatever happens in college, it trickles down even to the youth football, realm. It's gonna come down. I don't know. I have no clue. I mean, you got Clemson testing positive with 32 now. You got freaking K-State had the 15. You have all these. I have no idea what's going to happen. You have the Ravens that we talked about. They canceled their freaking season ticket holders. They're going to have how many people in the stands now, George? Like 15?
15,000. That's it. They deferred their season ticket holders to 2021, and basically they're only going to have 15,000 fans. The Bills came out and said they're not having anybody in their stadiums. Wow. So the Bills are going to play in an empty stadium, which again, you guys being the AFC East,
which we'll
you hate the Patriots and you hate the Bills.
Which we'll take. Which we'll take.
You'll take that. You'll take that too.
Yeah.
But no, so I think we're going to watch baseball and basketball kick off later this month. I think they're going to set the tone on how players get tested. I think they're going to set a tone on players are deactivated. So I think very similar to MMA. I think you're going to see players get tested over a period of time leading up to the game every other day as needed. And then those people that tested positive cannot play. They're put on the inactive roster for 2 weeks. They're quarantined. They cannot play. The guys that are healthy, doesn't have the virus, they can go out and play. I think you play NFL. I think you're going to see some, not all, college football. I think your major, your SEC, your ACC, your major networks are going to have those games. And you may see some teams not play within them, though. I think your smaller schools within those conferences may not play. But I think the bigger schools, your Miamis, your Floridas, your Florida States are going to play. And then I really think as far as high school wise, I'm hopeful that we get to play as a coach. I want these kids to be able to have film to go to college more than anything. I really want these kids to have film to go to college. That's what it's really about. But again, I don't know if they play high school football right now. I read an article that up in the northern states, January was a target date for football. They were going to move it to the spring as a spring sport, and go just say 2020 is done. We're going to go into 2021 and hope we can play then. Hopefully it doesn't, but that's what I'm hearing right now. So that's my take on it. What do you guys think?
I think the same thing. High school, I'm scared for high school, and I want to play, man. We have a lot of great kids on our team that I know 2021 graduating, because 2020 really freaking – we got by through the season. We did great, but then 2020, as far as the fall or the next year's spring stuff, we didn't get to have a spring for these 21 guys. And that's really, Ryan, that's where usually college coaches, they come onto the school and they're watching the kids, and then they want to recruit them, and then they get their names and they build the relationships. We didn't have any of that, and that's why you've seen like an influx on all these kids that don't even graduate for 2 years committing already to colleges, and they're like, yo, I don't even know if there's going to be a football season, so let me commit now. We got kids committing to Buffalo, Ball State, freaking Florida early, and you usually don't see it till December, but they don't even think there's going to be a season, so they're signing up early. I do think Division II is going to get a freaking steal here with 3 4-star athletes, because for whatever reason, if you didn't sign early or you didn't commit, those colleges are going to be like, yo, we got to shut the door. We're pretty much done here. And it's going to trickle onto those schools, and then JUCOs as well. George will tell you the JUCO schools as well.
Yeah, so that's another thing too. So think about this. As programs start to cut funding, usually the first place they're going to go to cut is those scholarships. So maybe before the school had 25 scholarships give out to athletes, school started cutting it back. Now you only have 20, right? So some of those offers will start to disappear from these kids pretty quickly. So I think that's why we're seeing that rush of kids now signing offers, signing their letters of intent, going and making that deal final, because I think you're going to start seeing more people there. And again, from a college standpoint, if there's no season in 2020, we're going to go into the JUCO ranks to get our kids. Kids have already played college football. Yep. We've seen them against other college kids versus a kid that took a year off in high school. The body didn't continue to mature. There's no film on him. The last time we've seen him was at this point 2 years ago, right? In 2019, because now we're in 2021. So we haven't seen him play since 2019. That's going to create a problem. So I do agree. I think D2, D3 schools stand to win a lot, because I think a lot more guys go unnoticed. But I also think, colleges D1 are going to start cutting those scholarships down. We're on a phone call today with the college coach that was recruiting one of our guys, and they cut their funding to be able to fly him out there.
Yeah.
He's not the front to build himself. So you're already starting to see some of that stuff getting cut in the pipeline. So I'm interested in seeing what happens. Hopefully these kids can get their scholarships, go out and ball out in college. That's what it's really about.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, because one of the things that I was thinking about the other day was if they move this college football season to the spring, how does that impact? Like, if you have 2 years worth of recruits coming in, you have only a limited number of scholarships. Does the NCAA allow that to change? What can the schools do? It just creates a lot of madness. And to your point, like, these kids only have one opportunity. They have 1 year.
Right.
Most of them have their senior year to prove and show out, for these big schools. So
It's rough, man. It's rough. And Ryan, if you ever want to, I don't know if you watch high school football or you ever follow, if you ever want to come onto the sideline with me and George, just watch the
That's
chaos
right.
that unfolds. You're more than welcome to join us, man, and jump on the sideline. We'll give you a sideline pass. I mean, we're no big deal. It's just a little picture with a sideline pass on it. I say that to make it sound like we're.
It doesn't.
I don't give a damn.
Okay, cool. We'll make it fancy, but I'm just saying we're not that special. I'm just making that up. But you come
I don't
on
know
and-
if it gets you curly fries.
Yeah.
I don't know if it gets it to you. I don't know.
None of that
It may
works
work.
at the
It may not
concession
work.
stand.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're gonna have to eat Subway with us, but yeah, it won't get you another concession stand. But yeah, man, we want you to come on and check out the football from that point, because we got, like I told you, man, we have a lot of athletes that are, man, they're phenomenal, man, and we really want them to have a season, bro. It's gonna be interesting how this sees every level. Like, every level is gonna have it. I mean, my kids play youth football, man, over at the Tampa Jags, and man, we youth football. Everybody, which by the way, youth football, just so you know, Ryan, is chaotic with these parents. Like, it's way crazier than you can imagine.
I only started playing football in high school, but you mix these parents that are worried about their kids playing at such a young age, and then on top of that, are they going to catch corona while they're out there playing, getting tackled or making a tackle?
Oh boy.
Right, man. It's
Yeah.
and then I got to be worried more that the kid gives it to me than me give it to the kid. Like, I got to be more worried than I get it than he does. But it trickles all the way down from every level, man. And this COVID thing has been impacted many lives of people, how they put food on the table, coaching wise, and things like that, man. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. Like I said, as long as we got the UFC continuing to lead us through this smoky phase, we're good to go, punching its way through, man. So I appreciate your time, Ryan, man. Anytime you want to come on the show, man, just like we did, I apologize for the impromptu calling you and say, hey, man, I need to jump on. But it was so exciting to think about UFC 251, man, that I had to call you and jump on, man, and let the viewers know where they can find you at, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you first and foremost for having me on, man. I'll talk punchy face any time of the day, man. UFC all day. But yeah, you can catch me on iHeartMedia, Spotify, I have Podbean, pretty much anywhere, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can find us on social media at the Casuals MMA. We have the orangish fist, so you can find us. But thank you guys for having me on. Great conversation. I also love talking a little college football. So happy to come on anytime you need me.
Appreciate it, bro. All right, On the Clock fans, that's pretty much all the time we had. I know we probably went a little bit extended this time, but it was special episode. We had our guy Rian Black over at Brevard County Rockledge High School, 3-star athlete that we had to talk to. Get him in front of you guys, because he's an amazing athlete. Trust me when I tell you, he's class of 2022. He's going to be a phenomenon, probably playing at your college that you love the most. Definitely loved it. And we also loved having our guy Ryan from Casual MMA's come on here from fanstreamsports.com website. You can go check him out. You can check him out on Twitter and Instagram at the Casuals. Yeah, let me tell you something, man. Great insight on UFC 251. What a great episode, man. I'm so packed, so pumped up about what's going to happen this weekend. It's going to be awesome, man.
Yeah, it was definitely a great show. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Again, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter by simply searching On the Clock. You can shoot us an email. I know we asked you guys to put a couple questions. Love to hear your feedback. Let us know at ontheclock20@gmail.com. You can always find us online at fanstreamsports.com. Until next time, you're on the clock.